I'm so late. I promise you guys I was late because I was really trying to get my screen sharing together. That's why I was late. Not because I was slacking, y'all, but this stuff was just giving me a hell of a time. But y'all did not want to see the past 15 minutes of what I was trying to do. Hey, Robin, Carol, Natalie, Shayna, Marvel, Shantae. Hey, y'all, Rita, Sherney. I don't know if you guys saw Denise Elizabeth says receipt receipts, Cobra. Stay ready so you ain't got to get ready. That's my motto, chick. You ain't gonna catch me slipping out in these streets. I tell you what, one thing about me, I do not like to sit up here and get caught flat-footed, child. If I say I'm gonna do something, I'm gonna back it up. Hey, Jermaine. Let's see, Pamplin. Oh, she got her mouth back, girl. I should have some wine too. Matter of fact, maybe I could text my husband and convince him to bring me some wine. Chrissy Hayes, Adeco, Peppies, Robin, two Robins, Lonnie, Alexandria, Selena, David, Tia, Faria, Jennifer. Happy weekend to you too, Cheryl. Happy Friday. Hope, Pearl Lickman. Thank you. Robin says I was great yesterday. Thank you. You know, listen, I know I talk a bunch of shit, so I gotta back it up. Cause I know it's people that's like, oh, this girl been talking about debate me. This girl been talking about X, Y, and Z. Let's see if she can bust a grape. I think I could bust a grape though. I think I could bust a grape. More than that. Hey, Sean, I can bust a grapefruit. Left fielder, Joy, Jackie, Mel, Wendy, Sean, I think I already said that. Aaron, Latrice, Sylvia. Y'all giving me all kind of love. I appreciate y'all. These emails got me fired up. I woke up to the bullshit. Oh Lord, oh Lord. Hey Lisa, Rashad, Jason Johnson weighed in on the EW op-ed on the grill. Yeah, I saw that. I don't promote nothing with Elizabeth Warren, no jail, so that's fine. If he wants to have a conversation with a black woman about Elizabeth Warren being picked, that's his prerogative to do. I'm not interested in sharing that. Hey Melanie, it's Derek. I really was just getting warmed up on rolling yesterday, but I did what I could in 2 minutes, child. I did what I could. Hey Linda, Ryan, Dr. Catherine. Okay, I say hi to a lot of people. People are like, okay, will you get to the show? I appreciate all of y'all for joining me. Hey, I see all your comments. Hey. Leon says, saw rolling last night and you were clowning. I promise you, okay, y'all let me know. Was I an asshole? I really felt like my delivery was appropriate. I don't feel like I was being mean. I wasn't personally attacking her. I was actually, bringing up Elizabeth Warren's record. We hadn't had a conversation about Elizabeth Warren's real record. So that's just what I was trying to get to the bottom of, because I'm trying to figure out if you have this criteria for, not so much do you have this criteria, let me say, what is your criteria for measuring a person's ability to look out for the black community? That's what I want to know. And when you tell me that you're not familiar with this and you haven't looked into that, I'm like, okay, well, what's your criteria? Because I know what my criteria is. My criteria isn't, oh, you've had a conversation with me and I liked you. I have to be able to back it up a lot more. I wouldn't be at this shit for a year and a half now if the best I could do is sit up there and be like, oh, well, I met Kamala and Kamala is really nice to me. Matter of fact, it took me from the very first post, right, that I made about Kamala in with her campaign to the time I met her, it was 9 months. And yet I went hard in the paint for her. It had nothing that I ever said about Kamala had anything to do with me meeting her. It was only based on my conviction that y'all are not going to tear this black woman down. So anyways, but this ain't about her, chill. Okay, this ain't about Warren and her, peoples that don't know anything about her record, apparently. About her volunteers. What I wanted to talk about today And today's going to be show and tell, child. So I hope that y'all ready with y'all attention span. I'm going to know if this number, I show a number of 54 here. Now, this number doesn't take into account Periscope viewers. But I'm going to know if this number drops that y'all attention span ain't where it needs to be today. But today is going to be a little bit of a show and tell. Many of you guys, and some of you have already mentioned this in the comments, saw this hit piece on Kamala Harris share. Zach put together, and it was basically, and this is what trips me out. Kamala Harris apparently was supposed to single-handedly end mass incarceration. Nobody was supposed to go to jail except for Steve Mnuchin. We cannot forget that. Steve Mnuchin was the only person that's supposed to go to jail, even though, if we're being honest, if people are being honest, it was never going to be a criminal case against Steve Mnuchin. It would have been a civil case against One West, not Steve Mnuchin personally. But okay, so everybody but Steve Mnuchin was not supposed to go to jail. Okay, cops were supposed to not kill anybody, and Kamala was supposed to stop all bullets from the cops up and down the nation. Anybody who had gone to jail for the past 3 decades prior was supposed to be let out by Kamala, because everybody in jail was innocent. I'm just telling you what the critiques are. And then today, on top of ending mass incarceration, letting everybody for the past 3 decades out of jail, except for Steve Mnuchin throwing him in jail, Kamala Harris is supposed to break up Facebook? Y'all funny. Y'all are really funny. You know, y'all white folks, I know that we say black girl magic, but it ain't that much goddamn magic in the world, channel. What trips me out too, a lot of the article, it was really catty little shady little bitch shit. You know what I'm saying? It's so funny, and I don't know if you guys saw my tweet on this, but it's so funny how black people are supposed to manage to ascend to elected office without raising any money, because, oh, God forbid they raise money and then it's, oh, well, this person gave the money, that person gave the money. Okay, well, people donate to shit. What's the big deal? They're not supposed to build any kind of alliances with anybody. They're supposed to just go in there guns blazing, but yet they're supposed to magically change everything in the system single-handedly without any alliances, without any money to get elected. God forbid that you're well liked by people. You're not supposed to be like, everybody's supposed to hate your black ass. But then you're still supposed to get elected with everybody hating you. You're still supposed to get shit done with everybody hating you. You're still supposed to get stuff done without any alliances. Can anybody explain how this makes sense to me? How is this supposed to happen? Hi, Luke, first time viewer. How does this work? Who accomplishes anything in that way? That's stupid. Now, I'm going to address this article. I was going to deconstruct this article. But to be honest, it's bullshit. And this is what these motherfuckers like to do. They like to get you all off course. They want to throw something out over here. And as people mentioned today, we have federal agents, or this being reported today, that federal agents in Portland are driving around in unmarked vehicles, kidnapping protesters, and arresting them, violating their constitutional rights. They are doing all of this, and yet what the Huffington Post thinks should be front page news is that Kamala Harris sent Sheryl Sandberg a headshot and story as requested by Sheryl and didn't break up Facebook. Which, who was saying break up Facebook when Kamala Harris was goddamn AG? Elizabeth Warren also sent a lean-in story. What's so Elizabeth Warren could do up Kamala Harris came? I'm confused. A lot of people participated in that campaign from Sheryl Sandberg. Was that controversial? Okay, that's fine. That's fine. But that's what they want, to always have the black boogie woman. Y'all need to be talking about Huffington raggedy ass motherfucking Post and Zach raggedy ass Carter. You need to be talking about this motherfucking acting secretary Wolf sitting out there acting like this is motherfucking cops and robbers, sending out federal agents to go snatch Americans off the street. That's what you should be focused on. I dropped her post again years ago. Me too. I don't even read it. but it came into my feed. But this is what they want us to focus on. So I said, not today, saying that's not what you're going to do. So my show and tell today is really to demonstrate that I know that these people would have you believe that Kamala Harris didn't really have shit to do as AG. But these little pet projects that now, 4 years after her being AG, or 3 years, however you want to calculate it, 3.5 years, okay? She was supposed to have done all these pet projects for all these people because she didn't have shit else to do running a department that had 4,500 employees and an annual operating budget of $800 million. She didn't have nothing to do, according to these white folks who's writing these hit pieces. And I won't just say white, because there's some black motherfuckers who be writing bullshit too. But I want to demonstrate with my show and tell some of the things that Kamala Harris was actually up to as AG. And I want to demonstrate because nothing happens without work. And Kamala Harris didn't just put in the work, but she put in the leadership. And I think it's really, really, really important to demonstrate exactly what kind of leadership she was providing, because let's be honest, a lot of people are talking about the rhetoric that people engage in. Oh my God, they gave a speech, but they don't have any accomplishments to point to. So today, let's talk about it. Appreciate everybody that's making the comments. Okay, now I hope this fucking works. I just literally spent 15 minutes, that's why I'm late, getting this together because I'm using this software or whatever. Okay, so let's see. You're not going to see my face. Hopefully, you're going to see this. Let's see. Hold on. Okay. Show and tell time, kids. This is what we got. So, as you all know, Kamala Harris came to office as the Attorney General in the middle of a housing crisis. Okay. And so, let me just see, how is this looking on the screen? Oh, okay. So I'm sorry, I'm missing. Oh, okay. So this is moving. I don't know how these things work, y'all. All right. Sorry. I'm trying to figure this shit out, y'all. Work with me. I'm still a rookie at this. Okay. So I know I can't see your comments and do this. So when Kamala Harris came to the Attorney General's position, she was elected. Very competitive race. First black woman, first woman of South Asian descent, first black person to become Attorney General. And so she got to work on this foreclosure crisis. All right. I know that there's a lot of hubbub about Elizabeth Warren's Consumer Financial Protections Bureau, which was an agency that she helped create. However, let's be clear, she did not actually oversee the agency once it was actually functional. So I don't know how she gets credit for everything, even though she wasn't even there. Kamala doesn't get credit for any of the shit while she was there, but that's okay. We're gonna work on this. So this is gonna be a clip. I know it says 15 minutes here, child. I'm only gonna play a couple of minutes. Stick with me. I know that it's hard when you're not being entertained, right? You can't even see me. It's when you're not being entertained, it's hard. I ain't making my faces and shit, but stick with me. And this is publicly available information. This isn't like, CBS. This is information. I'm not going to tell you exactly where it's from, but it's information that anybody can go look up if they so choose. Okay. And so let's see if I can get this a little bit bigger. All right. So I'm going to play this clip. Stick with me, y'all. This is November 2011. So, Kamala Harris she's a fact-based person. She's a person that likes to meet with people, convene people, get the stakeholders involved, and then she goes on ahead and she acts on that. So keep in mind, she's negotiating this massive mortgage settlement, but she's not just going after the big banks. Anybody loves to grandstand, child, in front of a hearing. But it takes a different kind of skill set to actually get to the root cause and go to the people. Kamala Harris for the people. She said that for a reason, and she truly believes it. So let's go on ahead and let's start this clip.
I wanted to be here today to hear these stories, and I've been receiving letters and I will be meeting with more people, because this is an issue that is about people and about these stories. There are a lot of people who are debating and talking about it and thinking about it from a perspective that is intellectual or perhaps political or academic. But the reality is this issue is about each of you at this table and the experiences that you've had.
I want to start with the homeowners' stories. So I'm wondering if we can just start with you, Denise.
I'm sorry. It's just the house. My name is Denise Collins. I owned a home in San Francisco. I bought my first home as an adult in 1997. Worked hard, paid the home, left San Francisco, loved the Bayview, in spite of the so-called bad reputation, made it my home after coming here from Southern California. In January 2009, I was behind on my payment, on my loan payment, 1 month. All the prevailing wisdom told me to call the lender right away. I did so. I called them right away. I cut off my security system. I stopped cable. I sold my car. I cut my expenses down to the bare minimum so I could just have, enough to pay my mortgage. I read what my lender told me. I trusted my lender to give me good, sound advice, and I believed them.
Okay, did y'all catch all of that? I just want to hopefully y'all heard that. It looks like y'all did. Nobody said otherwise. Okay. So, I just want to point out here, and I'm going to fast forward a little bit, but this, you notice how the people around the table are Black and Latino, right? And that is the face of devastation, economic devastation, and when it comes to the mortgage crisis, even in California. And so, when people talk about, oh, well, let's say Elizabeth Warren, her Consumer Financial Protections Bureau helped Black people and helped Latino people. Yes, and so did Kamala Harris as well as Attorney General. Let's just be clear about that. But I'm going to fast forward a little bit, just a little bit. I screened these clips beforehand. So, I have more than one clip. That's why I'm just going to fast forward. Because she had a very long story, very touching story. And I want to get at least just to the last little part of it. And then I'm going to move on to my next clip. Okay. So let's see. Come on. Damn it. This fucking thing. It's not going to, I just wish it would cooperate with me. I really wish it would cooperate with me. I should have known. All right. Let's see. Capture method. Is there anything I can do to change it? Automatic. Y'all, this raggedy shit. All right. Let me try it one more time. Oh my God, this is going to be a fucking pain in my ass doing this. I don't know why things have to be a monkey tail, y'all. I really don't. I don't understand it. I will never understand it. I spent all this time trying to work this shit out. I'm trying to get back to where you can see the clip. But, it's not trying to work with me. I knew I shouldn't have. Minimized it. Let's see. Let's try it one more time. Alright. Well, moral of the motherfucking story is this. Kamala Harris helped this lady. And I'm going to go on ahead. And I'm going to play a little bit more of it. So you're not going to see it because this wants to be an asshole. But listen to how she closed out.
Phone call where they were sending me prior to that all this information telling me that they could send me, they could help, that we could help, we have programs, we can help. From one phone call to my lender, now here we are, in November of 2011. That one phone call has been the bane of my existence for over, now 2 years, almost 2 years. It was the worst phone call that I've ever made, and I am completely destitute because of it. And that's my story, and that's why I called, and that's why I contacted Kamala Harris, because at that point, I had nowhere else to go, and they needed to be exposed. And I cannot believe, personally, that my lender is not doing this to many of the homeowners in California. And that's my story.
So I thank you for your courage. And so the way that I come at it, as I discussed earlier, is actually from a number of places. It comes from having been the district attorney of San Francisco and creating that unit.
Okay, so y'all said that y'all could see it. For me, it just looks blue. Shit. So y'all see this? Y'all, what do y'all see? When I do this, it looks like what? Y'all help me out. Y'all see somebody said we need some training. Yeah, I do need some training. Shit, this don't come in no handbook. So do y'all see the video right now? No. You see a blue bar. Okay, that's what I thought. That's what I'm seeing. All right. Well, shit, fuck it. I tried my hardest, okay? But anyways, did y'all hear where it said I had nowhere else to turn? I turned to Kamala Harris. Y'all caught that part, right? Okay. The top, okay. All right, that's fine. Now, I did have I wanted to share that clip because I think it's important to understand where she started from and what really informed her work. In addition to, it wasn't just a matter of going against the big banks, because I think you guys remember where I said Kamala versus for the 99%. I don't know if you guys remember that, but when I did that video, I talked about her battle with the Wall Street people, right? Her going into the room and all them white men sitting around there looking at her like she ain't shit, she ain't gonna do shit, she ain't about shit, thinking they gonna punk her ass. And she got the largest settlement in history, right? So that's Kamala. She don't play, okay? But they didn't know that. They underestimated her. But I just wanted to really underscore that it's not just going into these rooms with these head honchos. It's also doing these kinds of things where you're meeting with your constituents, you know what I'm saying? And you're hearing them. And let's see if I can get this back up. No, okay, it's still not working. All right, I don't know what the fuck. How did Kamala Harris hold her interesting? No. So what Kamala did was she went after those lenders, because basically the lady was scammed. Okay, this black woman was scammed, and other people tell their stories too. And so that's really what Kamala Harris was doing. That's what you do as an attorney general, even as district attorney. She also took on consumer protections and things like that, right? So I'm sorry, I'm a little flustered because I'm so frustrated. I can't believe I used all this time to try to prepare, and this raggedy shit does not want to fucking cooperate with me. But And I really want to show the videos because it's really important to see who's Kamala is surrounded by, okay? But Lord Jesus is not trying to help me. Oh, I know what I'll do. Okay, I don't like doing it this way, but I'll do it this way. So I'm going to move on to my next clip. This next clip, so we talked about, Kamala meeting with people and hearing their stories. So Kamala Harris actually led the charge on what was called the Homeowner Bill of Rights in California. So she got the mortgage settlement. That was one part of Kamala's accomplishment. The other part of Kamala's accomplishment was actually getting a homeowner bill of rights so that it doesn't happen again. Okay? So I'm going to go to this next clip. And I'm going to show you, this is the homeowner Bill of Rights being passed. Okay. So let's see. This is really behind the scenes for y'all. I know. Oh my God. I don't like being this far behind the scenes, but I just want to go to this. And so this is California legislator passes homeowner Bill of Rights. A lot of times I know people look at me and they're like, oh, you know, you just like Kamala, you're just biased as any other. That's why I'm doing show and tell. I'm letting other people speak for her. People who were speaking at the time, people who were working hand in hand with her at the time, be the ones to tell these stories. Not me. This is what they're saying. Shit, which one was it? Okay.
Good afternoon. I'm pleased to join Attorney General Harris, Senate President Pro Tem Darrell Steinberg, Mr.
It worked today. And none of it would have been possible without an aggressive Attorney General who decided that the first round of settlement talks, when it came to the national mortgage settlement, was not nearly enough. That California deserved and its people needed more. And she set the table here. And we simply have followed through today. And so on behalf of the people of the grateful people of California, it's my pleasure to introduce the Attorney General of the state of California, Kamala Harris.
Thank you. Thank you.
So I just wanted to show that clip. I have another clip I want to show, because these are people that work with her. And be clear, these are not just, oh, Kamala, when, you know, like some people giving speeches. You know, Kamala says that, but a lot of people don't really catch when she says that, oh, anybody can give speeches. Who's done the work? The homeowner Bill of Rights was something that didn't just happen. She had to testify before the legislator. She worked with different legislative officials, leaders. And she really helped usher in something that was very, very, very instrumental in protecting homeowners. Okay, the homeowner Bill of Rights. So I'm going to go to this other clip. Okay, so that was when it passed. Let's also talk about how what happened when it was signed into law. Okay, again, you don't have to take my word for none of this stuff, Jim. If I sound like I'm impressed, then it's not just me, child. This is what other people are saying. Other people are saying that it's impressive. Pam says, are you linking these in your credentials, not cosmetics, doc? No, I haven't linked these, but I did a thread about, and if you go to, this is a long story. I'll get to that. But at the end of the day, a lot of these press conferences are available in a thread that I did on her press conferences. This was last year. I will try to look it up. Before I hop off, I will look up that link and I will share it with you all. But these press conferences and stuff are whatever. Anyway, they're available for anybody to watch. So let's go to this next one. This is with it being signed into law.
This afternoon, I'm here to sign the Homeowners Bill of Rights, a bill championed by our Attorney General, and something that's been fought for over the last number of years. And what's important about it is that people who've been victimized and who might be victimized in the future are getting some legal protections to make sure that the abuses that have been rampant in many parts of the country, including California, will be stopped. We are still suffering from the effects of the mortgage meltdown. Those who, for the sake of money or profit or their own blindness, put this country in a tailspin, cost millions of people their jobs, millions of people their homes, and people today right here in California are still suffering. So this Homeowners Bill of Rights is one step in trying to make things a little better. And it's my pleasure to do that and to be in a position to make sure that there is a remedy when people are trying to modify a mortgage, that they don't all of a sudden get blindsided and get kicked out of their house. That's what it's all about. Here's our Attorney General who led the fight.
So this circles back to, I just want to interject there. This circles back to the woman that we saw, Denise Collins, right, in the first clip that I showed. And she basically was trying to modify her loan, and she ended up losing her house as a result of that. And so that's what Jerry Brown essentially, he may not be referencing her specific case, but that's what the Homeowner Bill of Rights would prevent. It would prevent that kind of abuse happening in the system. But notice he said years, right? He said led the charge by Kamala Harris. And so again, this is where the receipts come in. This is where it's not just about writing down on a PDF. Y'all, that's, I know y'all, people are like, yo, you hate PDFs. I don't hate PDFs. What I hate is rhetoric and no results. I hate rhetoric and no impact. I hate rhetoric and no work, no deeds, no actions. That's what I don't like. And so that's where the receipts come in. But let me just go ahead and play a little bit of what Kamala had to say here.
Thank you to the great governor of the state of California and for all of your leadership and support and friendship through the process. Today, I think, marks a great day in California for a number of reasons. It's about a statement, and the statement is pretty much to say we're done. We're done. We're done with robo-signing. We're done with false promises. We're done with the runaround. We're done with duplicative processes that have not supported responsible homeowners in California who simply want to pay to stay in their home. The California Homeowner Bill of Rights is a function of a number of issues that deal with the reality of the fact that we were the hardest hit state. We currently have about 12 of the top 20 hardest hit cities in the country here in California. We know that, which is why we were able to bring back in excess of $12 billion to California, because we knew that we were hardest hit and we deserved to receive compensation for the harm that was done here, and there had to be consequence and accountability by those who committed that harm. The Homeowner Bill of Rights is a function of leadership from our legislature. I want to thank, in his absence right now, Speaker Perez and Senate Pro Tem Darrell Steinberg. They, with the members of the conference committee and then the entire floor of each house, were responsible for passing this historic bill that our great governor will sign today. It is also about recognizing the stories that we heard up and down the state, and they are stories of folks that I've met with in Stockton and Los Banos, in places that have been hard hit, where families who are hardworking would talk about the fact that they were in the process of losing a job, in some cases losing a spouse, raising their children by themselves, in the process of foreclosure, trying to keep the home, and therefore trying to go and play by the rules and pay a modified loan payment, and without notice they'd be foreclosed upon. It's an unfair process. It's an unfair system. The California Homeowner Bill of Rights will change and stop that.
Okay, y'all. Consequence and accountability. She's been consistent nearly a decade old. I've been telling y'all that. Kamala Harris has been consistent for literally decades. She's not new to this. She's true to this. But I really wanted to do that show and tell because it's so annoying as fuck when people sit up there and try to whittle down and denigrate her record as she didn't prosecute Steve Mnuchin, when she didn't have any legal justification to do that. Yet you skip over all this other shit that she did that took coalitions. I know that Zach Watson doesn't believe in coalitions, at least if you're a black woman, it's not okay to have coalitions, but it actually takes coalitions to actually get shit done. In the largest state in the country, in the 5th largest economy in the world, Craig, in the whole world. Protecting homeowners. I know that, for instance, with Elizabeth Warren, her black supporters like to say, well, you know what Elizabeth Warren did for the black community? She wrote an article for a law review that was like 8 pages. And she said in that article that black people are targeted. Wow. Problem fucking solved, right? That's revolutionary. But then you turn around and you have Kamala Harris that led the charge on this homeowner bill of rights. You guys might not know, but she also co-sponsored the student loan borrowers bill of rights as well in California. So that's another place where she had impact, not just talk, but actual impact. That's another place where she did the work and didn't just talk the talk, she walked the walk. But see, these aren't the kinds of things that these aren't the kinds of things that they ever want to talk about. Okay, but let's go on ahead, and I have one more clip because the thing that spurred this show and tell was this punk ass article by Zach Watson, who blocked everybody, jail for responding to him. I don't know how the hell you put out goddamn articles and you can't deal with the response. That's a common thread on Kamala haters, jail. They put this bullshit out, and then when you push back on them, then you're a bully. Well, you're the one who volunteered your opinion in print. You can't handle a little pushback? That's weird. But I have one more thing, and this actually goes to the issue of technology, because Kamala Harris did a lot of things with technology as well. She actually formulated the e-crime unit when she was Attorney General. Okay, so that's a thing that she did. But when it comes to privacy, and I think that, first of all, how the fuck would Kamala Harris know that Cambridge Analytica was going to be harvesting data for fucking Facebook for the elections, and Obama didn't even know about it? It took a Mueller report. It took investigations from the intelligence community on a federal level, but Kamala Harris supposed to magically know that shit, so it's Kamala's fault. That's stupid. But I do want to talk about just some of her initiatives that she did as it relates to technology as Attorney General. This is a really good one. Let me go ahead and pull it up. And let's see, I think I had skip to 305. Okay. Wait, was that right?
Because you cannot download an app unless...
Okay, that wasn't right.
Of really convening in a way that we uniquely can. The interest that we have.
I think I meant to put 35 seconds. Sorry.
And we are all concerned also about privacy.
Okay, sorry.
Member of this office at DAG, Alexandra Robert Gordon, who have been working on this. And essentially the way that we came about is we all use apps. We all use apps. And we are all concerned also about privacy. And we realized that most of the apps that we use do not have privacy policies, and they should. And that's how we came about it. And we realized also that there was a lack of information, perhaps, confusion, perhaps, about whether the strong rules and laws around privacy in California, whether they relate to and cover mobile apps. And so part of the impetus of this was just to clear up that confusion, but also to do the work of really convening in a way that we uniquely can. The interest that we have as a law enforcement office and as a public agency with bringing together the private sector and the industry and arriving at a place where we can have agreement around the need to enforce privacy protections and also allow the work to thrive.
Hi. Yeah, could you talk a little bit about the negotiations, specifically about the severability? Because you cannot download an app unless you agree to give them your firstborn and everything else. How did you approach that? Did you ask them if they could offer the app without that?
So part of the method that we have agreed is important, is just your point, that the consumer should be informed of what they're giving up before they download the app. Because as we know, the way the technology works, that's actually when the consumer gives up the information, is at the point of downloading. So we have to have some intervening point before that that informs the consumer of what they may be giving up. And I will say that question raises another point. I think by doing this and arriving at this agreement, what we will also begin to see is that the app developers, many of them are not necessarily aware of or are thinking about these privacy laws. And now that they will be required to outline for the consumer what private information they're collecting, I think that they'll probably think a little bit more about what the design of their app requires in terms of releasing personal and private information by the consumer.
Okay, did y'all catch that? I don't know if these numbers are lying to me because it still says I have the same number of people. But moral of the story is, but I thought that motherfucking podcast said that Kamala Harris didn't do shit as it relates to technology. Well, here's an example of when alliances and showing that, you know, working with technology companies can actually result in a shared mutually beneficial result, which is protecting the privacy or informing consumers about their privacy protections. Wow, isn't that a concept? But there are two more things that I do want to highlight. They're not videos, but I'm going to show and tell. So let me go back to my browser. Let's see. Now, unfortunately, I had to reload all my shit. Attorney General Kamala Harris announces agreement to strengthen consumer protections for users of online dating websites. Wow. The agreement between the Attorney General and online dating providers eHarmony, Match.com, and Spark Networks, operators of such websites such as JD and Christian Mingle, y'all, states that the companies will protect their members through the use of online safety tools, including checking subscribers against national sex offender registries and by providing a rapid abuse reporting system for members. Okay. So this was something that she got them to come to an agreement with. In 2011, 40 million Americans used an online dating service and spent more than $1 billion. So now let's be clear. This is something that Kamala Harris did that impacts all people that use these websites. It wasn't just like, oh, only people in California got these protections. The entire country got these protections. A lot of people did online dating shit. Now is what is it? Tinder? Is that what it is now? I don't know. I think I was not single when Tinder, or what's the swiping one thing? Whatever the hell that one is. But the whole point is that this is something that impacted the entire country, not just California. Okay, one last thing I'm going to do on my show and tell, and I'm going to go to your questions and your comments. But I did want to highlight just this one little bit additional piece of information as it relates to this is just another little nugget there as it relates to technology. Attorney General Harris in August 2011 convened Amazon, Apple, Google, Hewlett-Packard, Microsoft, and Research in Motion as the most direct way to improve compliance with California law requiring that mobile apps have privacy policies. These platforms have committed to these principles today and are working now to implement them. Okay? And it mentions here, last year, Attorney General Harris established an e-crime unit to prosecute identity theft, data intrusions, and crimes involving the use of technology. So, moral of the motherfucking story is that Kamala Harris was absolutely concerned about consumer protections, about data protection, about technology. And more importantly, what was the impact of that concern? Like Susan Collins is concerned, but what was the impact of that concerns? Actually getting concessions from these technology providers, building coalitions. Wow. Isn't that a fucking concept that we used to actually like? Except for when it's time to attack a black woman. Then all of a sudden, alliances aren't good anymore. Even though these alliances result in actual impactful change. So yes, I hope that you guys learned something new today, or maybe you've already heard these things, but seeing, other people reiterate things that I've been saying it's helpful, let me go to you guys' comments now. I haven't read any of your comments, so I'm gonna go ahead and let's also be clear, okay? I'm gonna read off a couple of headlines before I close it out, because let's also be clear that Senator Kamala Harris actually in the Senate has worked on these technology issues as well. Okay. So let me go. I have a couple of links saved. I'm just going to read off the headline. Shit, ain't nobody got time to be reading all these fucking articles, okay? But let me go on ahead and let's just read some of the things. Harris presses Facebook over census misinformation policies, okay? After misleading Trump ads, okay? That was in the Hill, March 20, 2020, or March 6, 2020. Kamala Harris to Mark Zuckerberg. This is not a matter of free speech, okay? In terms of his defense of unregulated social media platforms, all right? And she also, y'all, Kamala was on Twitter's head to Twitter's head to suspend its account, okay? And then here's one other one, just a headline. Sarah's put Zuckerberg between a rock and a hard place for not disclosing data misuse. Interesting. Doesn't sound like Kamala Harris was sitting up there giving people a free pass. Kamala Harris does her job, okay? And she does it exceptionally well. Be clear. Now let me go to your comments. Anybody else have to add anything? I'm sorry, if you really, really, really wanted me to see your point, I need you to comment again, because I ain't gonna be able to go back to the beginning of this broadcast. Are you linking these? Okay, I already answered that one. Okay. So I'm starting at 1742. There's a clip of Kamala and Pri. I don't have that handy, but I do know the one you're talking about. But yeah, y'all gonna have to find that on your own. Let's see. Let me see if I can find the comment that I left in YouTube, because I had actually put a link to this thread that I did last year. Oh, here it is. Okay, so I'm going to copy this link. So this link that you're going to see come through is actually the link to the thread that I did that contains a lot of these press conferences that I referenced today. Let's see. Perlickman says she identified the problem. She brought people together. She made a difference. That's Kamala. And did you guys also notice that? So Kamala, I showed you. This was in November 2011 where she met with Denise Collins, right? And then later in 2012, I believe it was, I'd have to go back and double check these dates. But when the law was signed into land, these stories that she heard from these people are still at the top of her mind. And the most important thing is, not only does she identify the problem and put people together, as Perlickman says, but she actually has policy prescriptions and solutions that actually work and get signed into law. Anybody can identify, I just wrote an article and I said this is the problem, and that was the end of the motherfucking story. But Kamala actually works to solve these things. And it's not her job. She was never a legislator, okay? Be clear about that in terms of her California career. She was an executive, but she still formed partnerships with legislators. She was very effective in doing so. Not every single thing that she wanted happened. Be clear about that. Well, everybody likes to make it seem like, if all Kamala had to do was say go, and that means it was going to magically happen. No, that's not the case. But she busted her ass for years. And that was one of the most notable things to me when I did have that thread, was how often in these press conferences, and you have these people singing her praises, they reference the amount of time that it took to get these things done. These were not PDF today, solved tomorrow. These were years and months worth of effort and collaborations across multiple agencies. And the legislator. What a concept of progressive black woman. Yes. She's been so busy for a long time. The busy lady of action we see today is who she has been all along. Absolutely. Robin says this was a break hot broadcast. Thank you. I'm glad you think so. Faria says if Cage is not selected, then she should refuse a seat in the cabinet and stay in the Senate. Trump is setting those federal agencies on fire. I can't imagine that she would leave her Senate seat to go serve in the Biden administration as anything other than VP. She's already said unequivocally she does not want to do the attorney general job. That's a complete step down for her. And that's no shade to anybody who's ever had that position, but that's not a position for a U.S. senator typically at whose career is ascending. That's for like a career official, or Jeff Sessions, who's towards the end of his career anyway, had he not been fired. Let's see. She and Amy Klobuchar worked on technology issues in the Senate. Yeah, I barely scratched the surface of her technology record, but these are just some of the things that I wanted to really point out. Let's see. She does it without placing guard products on the Resolute desk. Yeah, and that's one thing I always appreciate about Kamala too. Kamala has always looked and seen and said, what can I do? How can I be innovative in my role and solve these problems? And I think that's incredibly important. Let's see. Charles says Kamala Harris's attention to issues around privacy will be needed as we deal with issues around reporting positive COVID test results right now in the middle of a global pandemic that is disproportionately impacting people of colors. Yes. Kamala's won't have to learn or listen to understand the possible privacy implications in the current moment. Absolutely. Let's see. Why do they keep lying on her? It's so goddamn frustrating. There's unconscious bias in reporting to fucking racism. It's called Operation Block the Black Woman. But let me say this. Right now, it's a unique Kamala Harris problem, but it's not unique to Kamala. What it's unique to the person that is the biggest threat to their status quo or the biggest threat to what they're trying to accomplish. Make no mistake about it. All the stuff that people think, oh, it's just people don't like Kamala any other. It's not that, because if you look at the data, there's nothing to support that Kamala is uniquely disliked. As a matter of fact, her unfavorables are lower than Elizabeth Warren, despite way more attacks on Kamala. But anybody in that position is going to be attacked. The difference between Kamala and others is that we have an army of people that have heard it all and can counter it all. Y'all saw her rolling. Oh, girl wasn't prepared to counter the comments that I made on her. Okay, if it's that easy for me to sit up there and drag your candidate and your response is, oh, what do you mean by percentages? You weren't familiar with that? I've done all the Oppo research on Kamala. Every single last piece of it. And I can combat anything. You can't step to me about Kamala and I'm not going to have something for that ass in return. So and I'm not saying it's just me, because it's like I said, it's an army of people. But the whole point is that we don't have a whole group of people that are in an echo chamber who never heard anything bad about their candidate and don't know how to push back. We know how to push back. Let's see. She continued the work for the people. That's why I support her campaign. Kamala never does Band-Aid legislation. Yes. It's always in-depth fix. Very in-depth. Very in-depth. Her knowledge is very in-depth. And that's one of the things that I've always emphasized, is that she doesn't just have a range of knowledge and skills. She has a depth of understanding what it takes to solve these problems. Quick programming note. I don't know how to say this every time, but if, when you're done watching this broadcast, please like this video. If you're watching it on YouTube or on Twitter, go back and like the comment, retweet it if you feel so compelled. Not a requirement, but at least like it, because as you guys saw yesterday, Chris posted about how his podcast is getting all these negative reviews because of Bernie supporters not liking the fact that he didn't support Bernie. It's fucking ridiculous. And I don't have that level of people downrating my shit, but I do notice that there are people that hate every single video that I do, okay? And so the point of that, I'll again repeat, is to degrade my channel quality so that it gets hidden with the algorithms. It basically gets penalized by algorithms. So do me a favor and like the video. That's all you got to do. If you're watching it on YouTube right now, it's probably a thumbs up button. So just go on ahead and like that for me. If you're on Twitter or whatever, however the fuck you liking it, just do me a favor and like it. It's not for my vanity's sake. It's so that my page doesn't get hidden, okay? And if you haven't subscribed, go on ahead and subscribe too. I know this is off subject, but I watched Roland Martin Unfiltered last night, and I would know how you would personally feel. What? Okay, I'm sorry, Rachel. I'm trying to feed this. And I guess you say, want to know how you personally feel it will affect the black vote if Biden selected a woman for VP, but not a black woman. Okay, so my thinking is that there will be a huge backlash, and my thinking is that I don't think that it's wise for the Biden campaign to sign up for having to explain for the next 3 months or however many months, 5 months, 4 months, why the hell they didn't pick a black woman despite dangling 8 or more black women for the presidency. I wouldn't want to sign up to be the person that explains that. You know, one thing I could say is that when it comes to black media ain't the kind to let you get on their show and just let anything ride. As y'all saw from Roland Martin Unfiltered. If you run across a motherfucker like me, you liable to have a little bit of aggression come your way. So you have to be able to explain why you had all these black women that are qualified and you turn around and went with the white woman or a woman of color who's not black. Because at the end of the day, we're looking for a black woman. And I think that I hope that the Biden campaign isn't resting their laurels on data that says that there isn't a penalty. There's not a penalty yet. But be clear, attitudes can shift. And there isn't a penalty because a lot of people just believe that it's going to be a black woman. So it's not something that they've thought about too much. So I wouldn't roll that dice. But you know, Democrats love to snatch victory from the jaws, or snatch defeat from the jaws of victory. I wouldn't want to take that chance. You don't get anything for it. Nobody has shown me what picking a white woman or a non-black woman gets you that picking a black woman does not get you. And I've demonstrated with, and Star Jones and I have demonstrated with our discussion, Credentials Not Cosmetics. I'm going to share this link, this encyclopedia, on how there is no sacrifice, there's no trade-off between credentials and picking a black woman. There's no trade-off whatsoever. You can get the most qualified person, irrespective of race, by picking Kamala Harris. But we want a black woman to be the VP. It's a bonus that Kamala is the most qualified regardless of race, but it's very important that we have a black woman. Black women do not have the luxury of being piecemeal. When we are 1,000% on point, we are still undervalued. Jennifer, that is a whole world. So that's why our credentials are exponentially better than acknowledged. Ooh, isn't that a sermon? That is a sermon. Okono Miyaki fan says, thankfully Chris's followers overwhelmed with 5-star views. He's at 4.5 stars now. Look at God. You know, the devil is a lie. And he will always try to come for you. But child, let no weapon formed against me prosper. Marge says, I don't know the extent to what she's a very busy woman. Marge says, does Sarah Kamala Harris know all that you've been doing? She's a very busy woman. Y'all see, I cover her policies all the time. And I don't know how she would have time to keep up with my Twitter account, or my videos. But I can say this, that I hope that she knows I have her back unequivocally. In whatever room or whatever platform I step in, I'm a ride or die for Kamala. So I hope that she feels that support, not just for me, but for the entire K-Hive. That's more important to me than if she's keeping up with what I'm doing. She don't have to know what I'm doing as long as she feels supported. That's the bigger issue, or bigger, goal of what I do, really. Okay, let's see. I'm just reading through some of your comments. All right, y'all. I'm about to hop off because I have a birthday party. I'm booked and busy tonight, y'all, but I do have Live with K-Hive at 9 p.m. Same place here, y'all. I have a 4-year-old ice cream birthday party in 15 minutes. I have my cousin's birthday party on Zoom. It's all on Zoom, y'all. I'm still social distancing. And tomorrow's our family cook-off. I saw my mom in here earlier. She probably long gone by now, chill. And we're doing duck. So y'all have to tune in for that. I don't know if any of us know what the hell we're doing when it comes to duck, but we have done a lot of other things. And so, Elizabeth, are you not a moderator? I will make a note of who that person is so I can block them later. Okay. Yeah, we're doing duck. We're doing duck tomorrow. So stay tuned for that. We always try to be creative. We always try to bring some kind of heat to everything that we do. So wish us luck. I want my husband to win. I feel like he got gypped last time, y'all. And my mom, she felt a little bad even, really, to be honest with you. So we gonna see. We gonna see who wins tomorrow. But anyways, come back for Live with the K-Hive tonight at 9 p.m. Eastern. And I will see y'all then. Trey, I don't know what you did. I might have to go back and look. But you guys have a good night. Bye.